See, this is what you call a noise campaign right here. Because a lot of law enforcement, EMS, fire department, a lot of these people are involved in this type of psychological harassment, organized stalking, gang stalking. This is something they do every time I come here to just, find a place to just chill out. That's something they do all the time. That ain't nothing new. See, those beings and those people with the lower energies and the type of energy that wants to target other people, people who operate in that sort of energy, the narcissist, the gang stalker, the NPC, the perp, it's really all one and the same. And so it's not always only about gang stalking, but it's about the person as a whole, and people who are worldly and operate from this energy are more inclined and more likely to be gang stalkers and perps. And from my own experience, I've seen this, in workplaces. I've seen this around family members. I've seen this around associates I used to have and people I thought were friends back then. It's really like a type of personality. It's really like, I would go as far as to say, like figuratively speaking, that I view these people as soulless beings. Like they don't even have souls. That's how I view it. Because I'm thinking to myself, like, how could people be that heartless? Maybe I just couldn't comprehend the evil. And I'm not saying I'm perfect, because I'm a hypocrite when it comes to certain aspects. I think everybody contradicts themselves a few times in this thing we call life. But I'm definitely not evil on the level that I've seen, that I've experienced. And I feel like going through so many experiences like that has really taught me ways to defend myself against these type of baiting tactics. So I apologize if a lot of these videos aren't always, the most positive or the most uplifting, but I really just want to dive into how these things play out and really just piece them together using my words, because that's what I've experienced. I've experienced a lot of hatred. I've experienced different forms of oppression, and I'm not playing the victim. I'm not adopting a lack mentality, but this is real life. You can be the most positive person. You can show people love. You can be authentic with people, show people unconditional love. But if people are going to be evil and hate you and project things onto you and choose to target you and become a part of these gang stalking groups to discredit you and try to smear your name, it's going to happen. You know what I mean? No matter how nice you be or how you approach these individuals. So I've seen these dynamics really play out with my family a lot, because I was a person who really stayed to myself. I chose not to be around a lot of people because in my younger days, I had really experienced a lot of betrayal. So thinking, I was always thinking to myself, like, maybe if I just stayed around to myself and to my family, you know what I mean? Like, there'd actually be real love there. But once you go farther into this spiritual journey and really like seeing the truth about this world for what it is, you start to see that even family members can be some of these soulless beings. Even the people closest to you can be the ones to smear your name, be in one-sided competitions, triangulate other relatives against you, misrepresent you, join in on the gang stalking tactics and do the same tactics that gang stalkers and the public and in society do to you. Your own family will do these things to you. They'll go as far as putting a life insurance policy on you. You know what I mean? So I learned really at a young age that, once I seen my own family turn on me, even the woman who gave birth to me, and it made it clear to me, like, not even try to hide the hate, make it clear to you in your face that they don't like you, that they're not, they're not on your side. It really puts you in a different type of mode. Like you really wake up real quick to reality, and how, you know what I mean, there's not many people that you're gonna find like really that authentically have your back, or actually like have authentic love for you. At least from what I've seen in my area and my experience throughout life in these 28 years. So seeing how far and how many people really got involved in this type of organized stalking, and all these, you know, this type of organization and these hate groups within this city as well, it really changed how I looked at people and viewed people. But one thing I can say is it didn't make me a bitter person. No matter how much hatred that was uncalled for, and how many people were insecure and projected onto me because they were miserable themselves and didn't have love for themselves, I never let that make me a hateful or miserable individual who went around picking apart others and being in one-sided competition with others, and looking at myself as above others. And that's why I say with a lot of TIs, see, a lot of the people who come against you doing this type of stuff, a lot of this stems from jealousy. A lot of this stems from envy. A lot of this stems from people aren't really secure with themselves. You know what I mean? So they're looking for somebody to project all that inner hatred they have for themselves onto. So one thing I was experiencing for a long time was the whole reactive abuse thing, where people would do certain things to you. Like with my family, for example, my stepfather would have his son say subliminal things towards me that are aimed at me, and do certain things or say things out loud as they walk past your room and your door where you're at, and I would mind my business. But they would do that to get a reaction. And in my younger years, I reacted a lot. So they had already profiled me and smeared me, saying, you know, he's an aggressive individual, you know, he doesn't like anybody, he this and that, antisocial, this and that. So they create this profile for you based on them doing the reactive abuse to try to smear your name to other people while they play victim. And a lot of these people, the irony of it all, these were the same people who were always in the church. So I can see why a lot of these people, these narcissists, they're very meticulous in the way that they operate, because they'll do the most evil things like reactive abuse and participating in gang stalking and organized stalking and these slow kill psychological so-called programs against the masses and individuals out here to get them to, you know, crash out or react or take themselves out. And at the same time, these will be the same individuals playing innocent in the church and hiding behind their money. And a lot of people in this world thinks that having a lot of money and material items equates to you being a good person, which is not true, because I've seen it for myself. I've seen it heads on. So all I want to say with this is that the personality of these gang stalkers and perps, these so-called cults and covens and these Freemasons and these secret society members who have always had a silver spoon in their mouth, the same people who have all this pride, but they never actually been through nothing real in life. You know what I mean? They never had to actually keep real faith with no, you know, backup plan, with nobody to call on. You know, they never actually had to go through it and go through any type of struggle, because a lot of these people were what makes them this way is because they've been spoiled. So life never humbled them, like I said in that last video. So they really see themselves as they're above others. They begin to have this ego, this God complex, you know, these narcissistic personality disorders where they're above the next human being. You know, some of them don't even view people with less than them as human beings. So what I want to say is that a lot of those type of personalities really tie into this organized stalking and this program, if you want to call it a program. And at the end of the day, These are the type of people that will pretend to be the victim at the end of the day. These are the type of people that will pretend like they'll switch it like they're victims. And this stuff goes deep. It goes really deep. And that's why I said it'll be the closest people to you, at least from my personal experience. I'm the eldest of 6. I'm the eldest. From my personal experience, I've seen that they've divided my family up. And a lot of my life was set up from the beginning. And a lot of people that they sent into my life, a lot of that was it was orchestrated. And I know that there are people within my mom's side of the family who know a lot, who know what's going on, but a lot of these people, they're never going to come out and say it because they're taught to deny. You know, these people hate to take accountability, but they'll be quick to judge you and point the finger at you. So like I said, you know, this might not be the most positive video. This might not be the most highly vibrational video. But when you go into these things and these type of discussions to really break it down and how the enemy works, it's not always going to be positive. But this is what I've experienced in my own personal experience. And I just say this to let it be known and put my truth out there that these things do happen. These things are real. And just shine some type of awareness on this. And if you want documentation, if you want to see actual footage in real life, I got plenty of videos. All you have to do is just scroll down. You know, some of the tactics haven't stopped, but I'm not letting that be the sole purpose of my whole day. But I have nothing against documentation and documenting what you go through. So to the TIs who listen, I appreciate your time. Y'all take care out there, and this is real life. You know what I mean? This is what goes on. You know what I mean? It's not always hugs and kisses, but somebody has to say it. And it's good that I see a lot of people speaking out more and more, which is a good thing. That if you're a TI, that's what you would want. Y'all take care, man.